Hey folks, so it's keyword research time. Everything builds on this. Everything going forward is this is really important. So we can't skip it, we can't rush it. We need to take our time. I'm going to break this down into two parts, probably about two 20-minute videos, something like that. But I'd imagine the first video might even take you 2 hours to get through, something to that effect. You really need to take your time over it. So I've created a resource. If you look into the course, is there resources, and if you click on this one, keyword research and SEO checklist, which opens this checklist, and it has various tabs on it. I only want you to focus on initial keyword research tab to start with. Okay. Now, with keyword research, you need to think about, before you even start, type it on here, write on a piece of paper, have a notebook, think about your business goals. Are you in this for the short term? Are you trying to get a quick exit strategy? Are you in this for the next 20 years? Are you in it for the next 5 years? That makes a difference to the type of client you're trying to attract. And I'm sure you know who you align with as a person. Who do you feel most comfortable serving? And think back to a time when you've had some customers in the building and you really enjoy them serving them, you enjoy them being your customer, and you love having them because they're a certain type of person. There might be a certain demographic, have the same interests, and that makes business easier when you're doing business with people you want to serve. It also makes things easier and more profitable if you're providing something for them that they really want and they value. If those things are misaligned, you'll get complaints. And I'm talking from experience. I've been in hospitality for many years, and I know that if we tried to do a special offer and it wasn't really aligned with our core values as a business, the wrong types of customer would come, and they wouldn't appreciate the efforts that we've been to. They wouldn't understand our business, and often it would lead to negativity, to complaints for the client. So if your client really understands you and you really understand them, you totally get where they're coming from, and you feel totally aligned with them, you will get the right audience, you will attract the right audience, and it will be a pleasure to do business with them. So that's why keyword research is important. Now, I'm not a musician, but I don't know if you know, when you put two pianos in a room and you press the key on one piano over this side, the string of the piano over this side will vibrate because it resonates. The vibration reverberates that string. And that's what we're trying to do through keyword research. We want our words to come through us into the website, and we want just how we feel and who we want to serve to come through that. And that's why this is absolutely vital, because if you get it wrong, you'll be getting the wrong people come to your business. And it's all well and good chasing the quick pound and the volume, but is it sustainable? So, do what you do best and chase the customers that you're most aligned with. Okay. So rant over on that one. Now, when we do keyword research, the first thing we're going to do, well, obviously we'll open up this tab. We're just going to go to Google and start typing in searches about things that pertain to our business. And I've put some ideas down here. So we're going to repeat the keyword searches many times. I'll only do it 2 or 3 times in my demonstration here. But as you can see, you need to have let's put location terms, i.e. the very specific village or the wider town or the county or the region. When I say region, perhaps the Cotswolds or Wales or the Gower Peninsula. So they're not necessarily postal addresses, but a region that people might refer to. They might say Cornish rather than Cornwall, things like that. So think about colloquialisms and the different locations. Then we're also thinking about the niche terms in terms of how our property is and what it offers, and that is who it's targeting, such as it has a hot tub, it has a pool, it has self-catering, it has full catering, it has a restaurant, who knows. And then about the type of audience you're looking for: couples, families, golfers, walking, romance, and then potentially as well the building type. I will put that in there as well. So it might be cottage, yurt, cabin, it might be apartment. Yeah, so we can take the type of property that we are. Obviously, you wouldn't take the property that you're not, but you might have a similar type of property. So if you're a cottage, then it could also be a barn, or a barn could be a cottage. A yurt, it could be glamping. A cabin could be log cabin, could be glamping potentially as well. Apartment could be a flat. So there are different words to use within that. So, okay. So what we're going to do, I'm going to head over to Google. And I was looking at barn accommodation in Norfolk. So Norfolk, very wide search. It's a whole county and in the east of England. So that's a very broad search term. And what we do is just put that search term in and keep referring back, obviously, and redoing this search. And what you wanted to do is not right now look at who's coming up, is we're looking at the different related search terms and which ones pertain to us, because Google will give us some other suggestions. So here we are, luxury barn accommodation, that was us. Barn accommodation, that's us, yeah. Luxury barns, Norfolk. Barn for sale, no, we're not for sale. Church barn, that's a brand name, no. Barn conversion, no, that's more to I think that's more about renting the property to live in. That's brand name, that's brand name. So some of these are relevant to us. I'm going to pop them in our spreadsheet. I'll pause that. So I've just pasted in those words there, so we want a record of them. And then we'll go back and let's just look at the other properties now and look at what their page titles are. These here are the page title, and this here is called the meta description, and that's the business name. That's their URL. So this in general, all of these results are called the SERPs, 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 search engine results pages. So we're looking through the SERPs, and we're looking at different terms here now. So holiday barns, North Norfolk, that's a little bit more specific within the county. Luxury self-catering barns. Okay, so we like that one. Norfolk holiday cottages. So I'm going to pause. Let's add those in. So I've added a couple more, and you might find some more still, and just keep adding them below. And what we're trying to do is just keep repeating these phrases with the village name, the town name, the village name with hot tub, the village name with families, the village name with cottage, the village name with barn. Just you'll keep repeating it over and over and looking for alternative terms. So let's just have another go, and we'll perhaps try and be a bit more specific with the village, the village location this time. So I've gone a bit more specific now, really long tail specific keywords. So the search intent here is really high, okay? Not many people are going to be making this search term exactly like that every month. But the people that do make it definitely want your thing, right? So there might be less search terms, but the intention of the searcher is really high to buy our thing, okay? So let's have another little look. This is actually the client, Mill Farm. and we're looking at other search terms that come up. We're also looking at what comes up here in the people also ask section. And this is good information for us for the future, okay? What's included in self-catering accommodation. So let's have a little look. It's given us some phrases. So we could potentially copy that and say, oh, let's just park that. Let's just put it in a document. That's a good question, and it's a good content for later down the line. Now, these FAQ sections, we'll actually be covering these in the course, but these will just keep on. You see how it's growing? The more I click, more and more will come up. The more I look at. Okay, so that's a really good place as a resource for keyword research. So we've done that search again, and we've got some other terms that have come up here. Things like best, keywords that include best, favorite, nearest, optimal. Those optimal words that people are not going to search by worst accommodation, are they? So we want best. They might type in cheapest if that's their budget and that's what you offer. That's fine. But if your offer cheap or budget, don't include the word luxury. And if you're luxury, don't include the words cheap. Right? We talk about aligning to the right audience. So really, that's all we're doing. We just keep on going down and looking for different words that inspire us and think, yes, that's exactly what I offer. That's exactly my target audience, and that's the thing they're coming for: golfing, walking, and for these guys, it's actually watching seals. Would you believe seal? It's called the can't remember now. Hornsey seals, something like that. And they've written a very good blog on here somewhere about all the seals in the area. So their target audience are families that are into nature, and that's really important for them. So that's why it's so important to get right from the start. So let's just have a look at the next step. What I want you to do is go to neilpatel.com/Ubersuggest, or just type in Ubersuggest, you'll find it. Now, if you've watched my other video about having a Chrome account, you can sign in and just sign in with your Chrome account. You don't need to give them your email or anything. Just sign in, and you'll be able to have a free account. It won't give you as much information as my paid account gives you, but it gives you some good information. And it's all you need. So you can set up a site audit, and it will give you lots of information about your website, how much traffic you're getting, and it can also do keyword research. So just go through the process of adding in your website. You can skip past most of it, but you can add in some competitors if you want to. And once you've done a site audit, you can extract your keywords and export it from a CSV file. So literally it will just export all the keywords into a CSV file, which is really easy. And then what we can also do is look at our competitors. So we've got a little thing down here, keyword overview and keyword ideas. So let's explore the ideas first. So we can search by keyword. And we could put, say, let's put self-catering in Norfolk. By the way, you need to put the right country. Just select the country there that you're in. And we can put barn accommodation Norfolk. For the purpose of the exercise, we'll just do 2. Click search. And it's going to give us some other ideas of keywords that we can possibly use. I'll let that run for a second. So they're the 2 I put in. And then it's giving us lots of different options down here. Some of them not relevant. Barn wedding, self-catering. They've got different specific towns with swimming pool, Norfolk Broads, so we're adding more specific words about the region. Coast, so yeah, that's specific. If someone wants to be nearer the beach, nearer the coast, rather than inland. So these are all really good ideas that we're picking up. Hunstanton's an area within Norfolk. So different word there, holidays. It's not Tasmania. So really, you're just going through trying to pick the ones that are relevant to you. So again, you can export it to a CSV file and then just delete the ones that, excuse me, that are not relevant to your business. And then we can copy and paste those keywords into our sheet. So the second column here, extracted keywords from Ubersuggest for your website. Yeah. And then we can have the keywords from the competitor's website, which I'll just go and show you how to do. So if we're again in the keyword ideas, and we can we'll clear that, and we can search by website. So we need to find a competitor. We'll actually make it more specific. When you're looking for a competitor, you want an actual other small business like you. You're not looking for a competitor which is TripAdvisor, Booking.com, Airbnb, Verbo. You don't want any of those because they're just, the volume of keywords is too vast. But ideally, you're looking for a competitor that's above you. So we'll grab their URL. And we'll go back to Ubersuggest. Sorry. Again, checking the country is in the right location. And we're now searching by our competitors. Sorry, for some reason it kicked me out there. I just logged back in. So this is the competitor website, Norfolk by the Sea, English, UK, and it gives us their keywords. Again, we can export those. If you're on the free version, it's only going to give you about 20 or 30, but it's going to give you the top 20 or 30. Now, what does this mean in here? Volume, CPC, that's all a bit confusing, so I'll explain that. Volume represents approximately the number of searches that search term gets per month. Now, Winterton-on-Sea as a search term doesn't tell us anything of the search intent for the customer. They might be looking where to park in Winterton, they might be looking for a pub or where to play golf. It means nothing to us. But we know that nearly 10,000 people a month are searching for it. The cost per click, if we were going to do paid ads, is about 80 pence. The paid difficulty is 7, so it's quite low. That's easy. And the search difficulty is 46. That's medium. So what we're looking for are keywords which have a decent monthly volume. The keyword pertains to us. It is relevant and has a high search intent. Only you know if it has a high search intent relevant to your business. And it has a lower search difficulty. Of course, we're going to go for the easier ones, right? Now, to find high volume and low difficulty is not easy, but that's, as a general rule. If it's about 30, it's easier, lower than 30. About 30 to 50 is medium, and higher than 50 is hard. So we can export those, and we've got them in a CSV file, and we can open that up and delete the keywords that don't mean anything to us. That leaves us with a load of keywords that we do like, which we can then go back and paste them into our sheet. So now I've extracted from that CSV file. I paused the video so you didn't have to watch me copy and pasting. into here. So we've got our keywords from Ubersuggest. I put about 50 in there, although there were more. 50 is about right. And it's got here the volume, the search difficulty, and the sheet also tells us the position where we are for that keyword. So we could perhaps go back later. In actual fact, I've got those the wrong way around. That's the position, and that's the yeah. So that's position, and that's search difficulty. I just pasted them in the wrong one. And if I could spell it, would help. Okay, and then I went to the competitor ones, and I've added those in as well. So what we're going to do in the next video is go along through these ChatGPT prompts and expand on our keywords. But just going back here, reiterate what we need to do. Spend a lot of time filling out this first column. Okay, that is the basis for everything. So you need to fill out your details of your village, location, town, region, what you offer. Yeah. Write a list of them here, who your target audience is, who your customer avatar is, who you want to attract. And you might do a different sheet if you want to. You might have this for, say you own multiple properties, and some are corporate city centre accommodation. You do this once, and some are countryside, country mansions that for party venues or groups or something like that, have a completely different offering. You would do it another sheet. Yeah. The building type, etc., and different words that relate to your property type. Because ultimately, we're kind of using the 3 parts to a search we're trying to put together, and that's location, property type, and niche, really. That's what creates a long tail keyword ultimately for us. Okay, so don't rush that. Please, please, please don't rush that. That first column, I'd say you probably spend a good hour on it, a good hour. Then you go to your Ubersuggest and get your keywords, all of your keywords. And then what you can do is get your competitors, but don't just pick one competitor, pick 3, 4, 5 competitors. Now, if you're on the free Ubersuggest, it might only give you like 3 searches a day, something like that. So by that point, you've probably done enough work anyway. So you can build on that anyway. Find three or four, get their keywords, add a few more in. Now, when you do it, of course, you can find keywords that not really pertaining to you. Let's just go through and make sure if it doesn't pertain to you, just delete it out. Yeah, just delete it. Because in the next stage, we don't want any words in here that are irrelevant, like negative keywords for us. For example, if you're luxury, you don't want the word cheap in there. We need to remove all those so that when we move on to the ChatGPT prompts later, it's not creating more content around the wrong term. Okay, right, I'm going to leave that for today. So that's part 1 of keyword research. And then we'll go on to part 2 of keyword research tomorrow. In the next video, when we're looking at search intent, we're looking at the different parts of the sales funnel, broad search intent, broad searches, and niche searches. We'll also then look at where in the sales funnel the customer is and how that might change what they're looking for. So it could be last minute or a longer lead time, or if they're at the bottom of the sales funnel, their questions might be different. It might be around cancellation policy, Wi-Fi, parking, that sort of thing. So where the customer is in the sales funnel gives we need different keywords. So anyway, that's for the next lesson. Hopefully that's all good. If you've got any questions about that, drop it in the community section, and I can also always add little extra videos as an explanation. If I've left any knowledge gaps, I can create a new video for you and just add that as an addition. All right, hope you've enjoyed that. Please don't rush it. I know that's the third time I've said it, but it is vital for everything we go forward. I think you'll see in Techmatics in the course I've said about the ship going 1 degree off course. This is the bit where you go exactly on course. All right, take care. See you soon.